Did Mike say he was coming on remotely?
He said he was going to try. He was gonna be at his daughter's place in Rhode Island, so he was gonna try to get on.
Okay,
He didn't say I'm absolutely going to be.
okay. Here we get to the sidewalk. All right, this is the regular scheduled meeting of the safety committee. Being held Wednesday, July 19th, starting at 1:30 p.m. And present is our emergency manager, director Jerry James, and our facilities manager, Dan Johnson. And special guest Sherry, is it Gage? Last name? Sherry Gage is in the audience. Jen. And Mark Walter. So. I'll make a motion to approve the safety committee. We even have a quorum. We approve the minutes or not? There's 1, 2, 3. Do you count, Jen?
I'm not on your, yeah, I'm just taking minutes.
I'm thinking you like me to make you a member.
I'll be an honorary member.
Yeah, because we're missing Deb. She's running a whole function at the beach today.
Right,
We're missing
well, that would be here.
Beth Blunt. She's out of work today.
So there's 8 of you on the,
We do not have a quorum.
you don't have one,
We will,
unless Mike Lester pops on.
but then we still, there's 8,
Oh, no,
we need 5.
we need 5.
Okay. And of those 8, are they all still employees? Is anyone missing? We have to count them, if not.
No, they're ever, yeah, it's, well.
Oh, we have no trooper.
No trooper, Kara, principal from the school, Jerry, Mike Lester, Dan, Beth Lund, you, and Debbie Fisk.
Does Kara ever come?
Well, I don't know.
That's the problem. When you have members that don't ever come, now you're selling yourself for a quorum.
2 troopers sitting at the fire station, calling them over. They are, they just sit there.
Well, just on that note, we are getting Jerry a new trooper. Greg. A new position,
Mhm.
and then we had Justin as our interim trooper.
Yep.
Now Justin's going to East Haddam to be their trooper, and East Haddam trooper's coming here. And she's a resident of Columbia. Her name is Christina.
With a K.
V with a K, yes. Very, very good. Christina Vavina.
Pavina. I don't know how to spell it, I'd have to look it up.
Thanks.
Okay, when does she officially start, do you know?
Next Friday.
Yes.
She thinks. Oh. All right, the fire drill. Just looking back at the minutes of everything we needed to do. I did discuss it with the library. They said no problem assembling in the library for training. Or assembling if it's not raining, wherever we want. We're welcome to go in the library. So that gives us a place if it's a rain event to get out of, not stand there. So,
Right.
Jen has a list of all employees and their cell phone numbers, so anybody we're missing, we can. Once we're in the library, start calling to find out.
And I think, did we say we were gonna post that inside the chapel? Wait,
Well, we originally thought of doing it in the chapel,
right,
then we thought it'd be easier just to go to the library. I remember that.
Could we possibly just do it more than, and have it in more than one place, just in
Right.
case the library is not available? You know, we have, yeah,
because what if I'm not here, It
Why
needs
are
to be
you
posted.
required?
Somewhere.
Post what?
Sorry.
The list of names and phone numbers? I don't know what we call
I
it.
think the place of, I'm probably saying it wrong, but the place of refuge to go to if there was a fire. I think that needs to be posted where you need to go, I think, right? What I'm saying, Jen.
I don't know, forget it, I guess I don't.
So we're going to schedule a fire,
Thanks, Dan.
and we have to contact the fire department, DPW, the fire department, 911, school, so they don't panic, since we're having a fire go right next to them. And then have a drill, make sure everybody leaves the building. Ideally, I guess too, we have to put a note on the door, because we can't leave it open and have residents piling in. Obviously, we won't do it during tax season.
I wonder in the event of a fire though, if that would really be the way to, lock the door behind you. I would imagine firefighters would need to get in,
Right.
if there was
No, I don't think we would lock it.
I wonder how you could indicate, to not enter then.
Fire drill in process. Do not enter.
Yeah, if you had something printed or ready, so to speak.
I would imagine, Jerry, we're actually gonna pull the fire alarm. How do you,
That'd be certainly a way, definitely.
yeah, I can't run around yelling fire drill.
Yeah,
Will be very-
we did it at the firehouse. Even though we're the fire department, we still. I know we, as firemen go and look at what the cause is, but we should be exiting the building.
Well, we should probably have it as.
Surprise.
Oh,
And
definitely.
and as, it would normally happen if a fire were, if someone were to pull them.
Well, I think we'd have to sit down with all employees and explain what the protocols are for fire. Because we haven't done that yet.
No,
Right.
Where to go, where to meet.
yeah, well, we should want, do that first and then do a surprise fire drill.
Right.
And it's not, I don't believe it should be your responsibility to investigate, right? Isn't that what we? Kermit suggests not to sweep the building.
Correct.
It seems hard to do if you see no smoke, just at least knock on the bathroom doors on the way out. Fire drill, yeah. Although our bathrooms are not very soundproof. That fire drill, alarm.
Yeah, I think you're gonna,
That's so loud, you have to leave the building.
I don't know if this building has strobes that go with the fire alarm, but I do know when I was discussing with FASD about updating Murphy House's fire panel and alarm system. Strobes are now required for anybody who's hearing impaired. Or, if you don't have them, that's okay, you're grandfathered in, you're not forced to add strobes. But that is a thought also.
Okay,
If somebody were to be hearing impaired.
all right, so I think we just have to get a checklist for all employees of what's involved, where to go. Be prepared to answer your phone if we can't find you. We'll meet at the library
mhm.
and. Does the fire department get involved at all, Jerry?
No. Excuse me, not,
Just-
not normally,
Just they
but it
realize,
could be, if you. Excuse me, if you certainly forget to notify somebody, then they would dispatch the fire department.
I know the school did a drill and started it 10 minutes too early, so the fire department did go.
Right.
Because it was before the event was supposed to start.
So I guess the key is you make sure we notify the fire department, make sure we start the fire drill when we say we're going to.
Right, and we notify 911. And we notify, what's that, Tollinger
Down this.
dispatch? And we should notify the library I guess as we're coming over there, we just help.
Hey, I wouldn't notify the alarm monitoring company. Because you wanna make sure that that's working correctly.
Yes, but you can, you do have to call them and put it on test though, so they don't dispatch, because when I do
You
that.
would like, I would like to see them make the call to the proper dispatch center. Make sure that they're calling Talon.
And then Talon tells them, it's a fire drill, thank you.
Yeah. But, you know, I know what you're saying about the, you know, the test environment, but I would like to see the process, just to make sure that they're monitoring
Yeah.
properly and they.
And so it's a test of the fire alarm company.
Yeah. I mean, I would hate to see, you know, a emergency happening and they get all geared up to make something happen. But yeah, no, that makes sense.
So dispatch should tell them, got it, but it's fire drill, thank you.
That makes sense, yeah. I have to put them on test when I do my maintenance that I have to do to them.
Oh,
Right, when doing maintenance and stuff like that, but we're doing an actual, you know, there's hopefully only one person that knows that we're gonna do this,
Right.
or when.
or when, and so.
Okay, anything more on fire drill? We'll get that
Okay,
scheduled for this, August. And we'll report at our next meeting, how we did. I would imagine, Dan, you'll know about it, so you can be present to observe. Because you're not normally here,
I can pretend I don't know.
you can pretend.
but you know, it's good to make sure that whatever alerting devices
Are working.
are working in within the building, you know,
Right, have your,
hearing protection with you.
I know, this building does make some noise when it's going on, so.
I accidentally fired off the DPW garage. I thought I was gonna die trying to put my code in while it was going off.
That one's brutal,
It's horrible. I want to
I've
die.
heard of
It
it.
hurt so
Yeah.
bad.
yeah. It's supposed
I
to,
think it ruined my hearing. I think I have.
it's supposed to be a half step below hearing impairment damage, but to encourage you to get out.
Would-
Really? Yeah,
Oh, it is. It rattles your head.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay, Route 87 by the dam. We have not heard back from DOT.
No, we're not.
So that's in the works for an analysis of what they can do to keep people from leaving that curb and crashing in the person's front yard. Where all the cars end up burning and flipping.
when we reach out to DOT, do we have just a person we're supposed to reach out to? Or is
No,
there-
we received back from DOT a whole list of people depending on what we're requesting.
Oh,
Who to correctly go to.
okay,
So I can actually send you that list. They give you, you know, if you want a stop sign, you contact this person. If you want a light, contact this person. So I can send you that list.
okay,
So there's different departments or different divisions of the department that you have to ask for different things.
So they
Right.
forwarded
Okay.
on
That
our
makes sense.
laundry list of things we were concerned about to the proper divisions, but told us to please send it to the correct division next time.
Okay, so that makes sense.
And we don't have any activity date, so we know
I
that,
think what we need to do is send a follow-up to the places we were directed
Mhm.
and say.
if something's been done, great, if nothing's been done, when might it be done?
Yeah.
And,
So that was probably 2 months ago, right, Jen? What's our,
that was April,
No,
19th,
that
April.
was 3 months ago.
3 months, which makes sense, we're quarterly. Our safety
Yeah.
months.
Mhm.
So 3 months ago, you would expect at least an acknowledgement. Hey, we got your request, we're working on it.
Well, they did acknowledge that they got our request. They did not tell us how long it would take.
Okay, so why don't we follow up on all, there's a whole list of concerns.
Yeah.
The brighter chevrons.
Uh.
You know, they
Yeah.
does not know when they'll be installed, we said it could be this summer.
And my concern is West Street and Pine, I think at least the stop signs need to be lit.
Yeah.
I think we need solar powered lit stop signs. Cause they're not obvious. Well, also, one thing you could do too is move that telephone pole that blocks the stop sign coming west to 66. The stop sign is behind the telephone.
Yeah,
Well, it is while you're approaching until you get there, and
Right, it's not.
then at the last 20 yards, you see the stop sign. Otherwise, it's, and I also have noticed towns have in very busy intersection, double posts holding the stop sign with red lollipops on each
yes,
post.
yeah, Colin just did that.
So that's another option you could do. Unfortunately, though, we have to drill into the pavement to do that, because that's the parking lot, but I'm sure they have equipment for that.
Right.
Or is that up to the town? I'm not sure.
If it's our road, then we get to, but if
It's our road approaching the state highway. So I don't know who owns that stop sign.
yeah, I'm not sure on that.
So that's DOT, we have nothing to report. Smells outside town hall. Is there anything we can do? More charcoal on the,
Has there been further complaints?
I haven't noticed it lately,
I was about to say that myself. I have not noticed it.
I haven't either. Because usually in the heat of the summer, it's
bad.
overwhelming when you walk outside.
Yes.
Our septic system
So,
is powered uphill, so there's an exhaust out the school roof.
so it's not because of lack of individuals using the system?
It shouldn't be.
You're right, in the summer, it's probably hardly ever, when they're not in session, we shouldn't smell much, because not using the school.
Well, a lot of, I believe where that smell is coming from is the ventilation pipes that every house has,
Mhm.
any toilet there is has it. And this building, I went around everywhere, checked it, library. Annex was little, which is why we put those charcoal filters on in the first place.
Right,
So if it's coming from somewhere else, which it appears to be coming off of the school, we had talked about last time that they could try the same thing that I did on the annex building, those charcoal filters. They're not expensive, $50–60 per pipe, and they last for a long time. And it filters any smell coming out.
do you have like anything, I'm meeting with the superintendents tomorrow at 10:15. Can you get me anything on that I can give them and say, why don't you try this?
Absolutely.
Maybe we don't have to smell your flushing.
Yeah, I can find that for you.
Because it is pretty nasty when you walk outside in the heat of the summer.
That's anytime. Worse than some.
Worse than some.
Hmm.
Yeah, some people thought that's what Columbia smelled like.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Some people thought that there was a gas leak.
Right, we've had residents come in and notify us there's a gas leak.
Yeah,
That just does smell like sour eggs.
I've used them on residential houses before this, and it's just immediate fix. Not to say that will immediate fix this, but if that is the culprit, it should help immensely.
All right, and number 5 from last meeting, we did put the new dock out. I guess it's a big hit. It's not a new dock, it's an old dock at Town Beach. That we were sitting in Public Works and helped orchestrate that. Played scuba man,
So far, so good.
Still-
Like you just
still
said,
hasn't moved.
everybody likes it, it's staying where it is.
Oh, you know what? Hey, Dan, would you order and Jerry, if you agree, a fire blanket for the town hall kitchen? You see them advertised, do they work? You gotta keep them posted above the stove, you pull out, throw it over the fire instead of a fire extinguisher? Or do you prefer a fire extinguisher?
Well, we do have extinguishers in the kitchen. They're of course kept up to date.
Do they have any in the fire department, any,
We don't use that device, no.
that blanket? Looks like it works on TV.
I thought that the fire blanket was especially good for something like a grease fire, because you want to suffocate that versus spray it with water or spray it with something
Or
that
chemical.
can spread, right? I've heard they work. I don't think ordering one and putting one in there is gonna hurt anything. If it's a valid item, why not?
Would you order one, please?
I just put it on the list.
And actually, is there a stove anywhere else in town?
Fire department has a stove, senior center has a stove,
Senior center, so get to it.
that has a fire suppression system, that's part of having to put the panels on test when I test all that.
So you don't need one.
Right, that's a very elaborate, whole overhead,
Oh,
Set up.
on the hood?
yes, yeah, built right into it all, it's kept up to date.
Okay.
Um,
Although you know where a fire blanket would have come in handy? I was at an event honoring the veterans. And the sterno on the table. They didn't have the right sterno size and it tipped over and the paper tablecloth lit on fire.
Oh.
So we got it out really quick, like,
I just put ×2 on fire blanket.
Can we just go back, you skipped 4.4, was there any update on Hennepin Road in 66?
no, that's all part of, we're waiting for DOT.
Okay.
So that's lumped in with all of our DOT requests to improve safety on our street.
Okay.
So I think we just have to keep making this. Jared, who's our DOT resident that maybe could help us get through the,
Richard Regan, lives on Saginaw Road.
who's his name? He might be able to help us. Just at least see where these projects are.
Yeah.
Boy, Jen, my phone is not
I know.
good right now. You have his number, Jen? Thought I used to have it. Richard Regan, REAGAN. He's DOT, is he still working? We want you, yeah,
Let me, all I have is his cell,
Yeah.
just get his business number.
yeah, here's his number,
I'll get it to you.
thanks. All right, so Jerry. Will forward. Workman. And to Jen. Will. Work a follow-up. Email. To DOT departments. Okay.
Okay.
And. Dan. Will order. Actually, get 3, we'll put one at Rec Park. In
Up in the
the,
kitchen,
in the concession stand,
yeah,
we'll order 3 fire blankets.
The salesman.
uh,
Really, he just kept calling and calling?
he wasn't even selling anything good.
Yeah,
For Wednesday.
okay. And anything else, previous minute? The first requested dock, that's done, fire hydrant at beach. Did Mike talk to Beth Lund about,
If needed, and it's not needed at the moment,
so if we wait for the drawdown,
I believe so, yes.
and we're not messing around going under that pier, I would imagine we'd lay a new pipe, wouldn't we? We had to,
Yeah, I'm sure there definitely would be some modification, yes, but not in here.
and has Mike done a visual camera test on both Caledonia and
I'm not exactly sure which ones, but he had the gentleman committed to it, yes,
okay, so I don't need to worry about that.
no.
Okay. Next. Fire drill done, 87 done, smell outside done, Hennepin done, fire blanket done, lithium battery disposal.
So I included in the packet, the fire marshal's article that was going into the Columbia Reviews on the lithium batteries.
These batteries can be dangerous if not used correctly. It's important to educate yourself on the proper use and disposal of these batteries to minimize potential hazard. Here, if you dip, always use a charger that's supplied with the battery. Do not use aftermarket chargers. Avoid damaging and dropping batteries. That includes your cell phone.
Genuinely, yeah, with the lithium batteries.
My wife got one of those bigger cell phones. It flies out of her hand every day. Her hands are too little for the giant cell phone. I see it flying across the room. So she's gonna go back to a normal size cell phone.
Luckily, they have addressed those for impact as if not to cause a battery problem, but
Okay. Do not overcharge the batteries. That's a good one because I've started with my tools that I used to leave in the charger. I've started taking them out now. I think my dad had a fire in his garage charging lithium
the
batteries.
lithium will not go out with a regular extinguisher. That they just continue to burn
Really?
with all the chemicals in them, yeah. Kara and I had a big discussion about it one day. She let me know.
So she's not a fan of lithium batteries? Follow manufacturer. For storage, keep batteries at room temperature, out of direct sunlight, never charge a battery device under your pillow. Oh, I bet a lot of people shove their cell phones under the pillow while they're sleeping, so they can find it. All right, I don't do that. It's beside my bed on a nightstand. Or near your sofa. Oh, sofa, couch sofa. Plug batteries directly into the wall electric outlet for charging. Do not plug into a power strip. Why? Jerry, Dan, what would be wrong with a power strip?
I really don't know, because if there's
A lot of them have a circuit.
Power
Yeah,
strip, it's
I'm not
tripping.
I'm not sure what the reasoning there would be.
We'll have to ask our fire marshal.
Yeah.
Store batteries away from anything flammable and do not dispose of batteries in your trash or recycling bin. Batteries can be recycled through the RDRC program called 1-800-8-battery. Or go through the call to recycle website. Or do you think that's not really gonna happen with our citizens?
Well, I do know that at the transfer station, any old batteries, they are sorted and put off to the side.
So normal batteries and lithium batteries?
Yes, there's, the guys don't seem to make a big distinction, you know, you have batteries off of DeWalt tools or Craftsman tools, some are lithium ion, some are old lead ones, and they all go into a similar bin. We don't get a ton of them, I don't know if it's even been emptied since I've been, you know, this bin of batteries, but I imagine from there, if there is a system to recycle that, they're at least consolidated to be able to address.
Jen, why don't we actually go to this site and see what they say?
Because they do separate them unless people are throwing them in the bulky waste, but they do seem to put old batteries where it is
I know
marked.
East Haven doesn't separate them, because I asked once I had batteries, they said it's old wood. I don't think that's the right answer.
No, impact really can make those batteries ignite. I've had the wall fall off the roof before it hit the pavement and it just started to swell until it caught on fire. Probably 20 minutes of just fire. It didn't do anything. It was safe and out of the way.
Plus your tool.
Homeowner was gone, so
All right,
yeah.
So, the bullet item is proper disposal. It's just not establishing or make sure that we announce that we have a,
I think we need to make sure the public knows to bring them to the transfer station, we'll take care of them, unless calling 1-800 call to recycle actually is easy to do. But I doubt most residents are going to call.
I agree.
They'll remember to throw them in the car with the trash and throw them in the bucket potentially.
So, and we need to find out from Beth what they recycle. Do they
Yeah, so-
recycle any batteries?
Then
And if
before,
so,
we should
do they-
check with
But they
that,
may be doing it already, I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
no.
so we better confirm battery. Disposal. At transfer station.
And, you know, if they do recycle and they do the lithium batteries, then we should let people know that,
publicize it.
you know, so that people aren't throwing it in their garbage.
And did this go out in reviews?
It will be, yes, August 7th it goes out.
But we've already approved the proof.
Mhm.
So actually, this is still fine.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
sure.
It just doesn't state you can bring them to the transfer station. Okay. Anything else, Jerry? Good. All right, and let's just. Board member comments, I'll just bring up. And since Sherry's here offering help with our creating a survey. For the possible sidewalk. So based on. Way back, whenever it was, what year did we try to do
When
sidewalk?
I read the notes from that, it was 2008.
Yeah, so I think 2007 it started. They designed the sidewalk down 87 using a grant. And I think Public Works was gonna build most of it, I think it was gonna be stone dust. And the town voted at a very contentious town meeting of 300 people, 200 no, 100 yes. So before we go down that road again, we wanted to do a better job of surveying the public, getting their thoughts. I have already engaged with Barton and Luigi, our town engineer. And
They should have all that in the packet.
oh, they do.
Yep,
Never mind, this is for the members that are not here.
yes.
So what they proposed, because we walked the whole site. And they gave me a proposal for $3,000 if the board of selectmen want to get some favorable feedback before we spend the money in getting that proposal. We'll probably do a Survey Monkey, put it out in our digital newsletter. So we can do a blast out to the town, put it out on Facebook, say, here's the Survey Monkey link, please answer these questions. And they, in their comprehensive plan, you can read, they will protect existing trees, remove vegetation that's in the way. There's a lot of vegetation. You can see an old stone wall. The town owns to that old stone wall, and it's in most cases from Jen to the window. There's that much land that, not the town, the state owns that right away. But they felt that a stone dust sidewalk would not be approved by DOT. They said DOT always wants cement sidewalks. And they said the town would not really want the maintenance of a stone dust sidewalk. There's erosion would have DPW out there rebuilding it often. They said also with cement, you could do a better job of piping under, in areas where the swales require fill. You could put piping so that you could get rid of the swale and make it flat with a sidewalk.
Right.
They would include reconstructing any driveway aprons that they cross. Earth excavation regarding the project limits, because they think we have to level some of the ground and remove some major rocks that might be in the way. We'd have to do extensions on existing drainage culverts. Reconstruct existing drainage swales, remove invasive vegetation. There was a lot of invasive vegetation that was in sections. And protect existing stone walls. One thing is you'll probably make a lot of the stone walls visible again that have gone under vegetation. They would pair and what they would do, the good thing about this, if the town is a favorable response with our survey and says, yeah, we're interested to get more information, they would actually design the sidewalk so each resident could see exactly where it would go. I think part of our unknown with the residents would be, well, where is it gonna be on my property? And it won't just be a straight line. You'll have to go behind telephone poles in some places, in front of telephone poles in other. Yes, sure.
But it won't actually be on their property, it will be on the property that's owned
By the state.
So.
Right.
But it will be near there.
Yes, it'll be near the highway. They also stated that based on the sight lines at the intersection of Lake. You would assume you would run it all the way to perpendicular with Lake. They recommended that the crosswalk will be before you get to Lake. Because you want as much sight line as possible at that intersection. And the problem of crossing at the intersection is you have too much going on right there. So they felt is it EJ?
Yes,
Jason.
yes.
EJ,
I live in a house that they would cross into early.
if you're on the other side of the street from EJ?
Yeah.
So we were looking at that, and I think the crosswalk would be before EJ's stone walkway down, and you cross right before that stone walkway, get over to Lake that way.
In front of my house, and that, I actually looking at it, thought exactly the same thing, that you probably want to move that.
Right, then the crosswalk would be narrower, it would, as you get near the intersection, it would be a much longer crosswalk, and you'd be out in the road longer too. Well, it's good that you would not oppose it. Because that was one concern, wherever this happens.
That's me, and I would not oppose it.
Okay, and then, I also think in our survey, you have to have a frank discussion, because most towns with sidewalks have a sidewalk ordinance that you're responsible for shoveling your sidewalks, any sidewalk in front of your property. The challenge you're gonna have with that sidewalk is most of the properties have a lot of width. They're wide frontage properties, and it's a state highway. So the second you get done shoveling it, they're gonna make another pass with the big plows going pretty darn fast. And they're gonna fill the sidewalk again. So I do know East Haddam you have to shovel in front of your property, but when the snow got too deep. The people who wanted to walk the sidewalks would call my office, and we'd have to send out our little snow blower. It was a big tractor snow blower.
Right.
We'd have to go open up some of the sidewalks that have now gotten too deep. And most of the commercial residents just put a pickup truck and a plow and just would run down and do it real quick. But it was the residential sidewalks that often didn't get shoveled, which this would be all residential.
I think that's a really important thing to think about, and whether if there could be some sort of ordinance where you don't have to shovel, because, I mean, having it is so much better than not having it and not having access to it in the winter. I don't know.
Well, that's the third option, and I don't know if that option's allowed. Does this say we're not shoveling in the winter?
Right, I do wonder if that would be allowed.
The DOT might not accept that.
I don't see it being a problem if it was.
You know, Rec Park, we don't shovel in the winter the walkway.
Right, I know what you're saying, though, they might say needs to happen,
Right. And I know adding one more thing in the winter to public works is to-do list without going big. Because we're such a
You
small
just
crew,
don't have the manpower.
we're a too small crew, I mean, you almost need a grounds crew, give them something to do in winter.
Yeah.
What leads you, or what leads anybody to believe that there won't be a major outcry against the project again?
Oh, I don't know, that's why the board doesn't want to do a survey and test the pulse of the town before we invest too much money and time.
What's your participation rate in past surveys?
We've never done it,
Answers to that.
we don't know.
Okay, it just seemed like it became a, I'm guessing it's probably not high participation, but hopefully I'm wrong.
Well, I think it would also include door to door along 87. I think part of sharing a team, if you have a team, you seem to have a team that night, you came to the board of selectmen and presented the idea. Might be door to door, show the rendering of what we're thinking and have a check off list of questions and get clear answers.
Yeah, I have talked to many people who live on 87. Not between here, but a little bit farther beyond Lake Road, who definitely are very much wanting a sidewalk. And most of the people that I have talked to is when I'm out walking or running, the people who are actually out on the road some of the time really are in favor. And I just wonder if when you got that response in 08, which is now we're talking quite a long time ago, were mostly people who were opposed, and if the word didn't get out to people who might have been in favor.
Well, I talked to Don Cianci, who was the first selectman back when that happened. And there was a lot of political reasons why people were against it.
Mhm.
I know politically they got Senator, not Doyle,
Right.
Senator Prey involved, and EJ was against it. And I think concerned that his front would be ruined in the stairs. At least that's what I was told. And I think Edith Prey got dragged in from the anti-side to kill it. And I think there was a lot of misinformation.
Mhm.
But I think there was a lot of misinformation, and I don't think it was clearly presented. And what happened was the board of selectmen voted no to bring it forward to a town meeting. And Dion Cianci, who was the first selectman, had I think, a town meeting to override the board of selectmen. So now you've got a battle within the board of selectmen, not agreeing for a sidewalk, and a battle from some of the residents on 87 dragging their friends in. And I think it just had a life of its own at that time.
I kind of imagine too that as this park has grown bigger and become more of a destination, and same with Murphy House in some regards, that there could be more interest in, hey, this is a much more accessible place to get now. You know, those are two big recreational areas we have in town, and I don't live in town, but I have a main road near me, and it stinks to walk down. There's not a lot of room, and there's a beautiful park right down the road. So, for me, even in my town, it would be great to have a sidewalk.
Well,
Because you can safely.
here's the other thing that'll come out of all this. So now you get a big grant, you put it down 87, and people on Lake would go, well, I'd like to have a sidewalk down Lake. And then Aridoni, I'd like to have a sidewalk to the park. And then, well, I'd like a sidewalk, keep going down 87 around our green into the post office and the school. So it could keep growing, but there's a lot of cost in that.
Right, but there are, but possibly grants, and
Right.
if you have a more walkable, accessible community, we have this great town center here with so much accessible, like the library for kids, or, the schools, the town center, and it might allow people to use some of those businesses that are there that don't get a lot of traffic because people don't stop. So I don't know, there's a lot of people in this town that are walking anyway. I mean, it's already being used excessively. Every foot traffic up and down.
I know, the engineers decided coming down A7, we turn up the library grass and connect right into the library sidewalk.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So it would literally come up on the other side of our exit road. So that, it would be a wonderful asset to have. We would just have to try to get it, because they're estimating that it would cost, to build the sidewalk, probably close to 900,000.
And the grants that do cover up close to up to that.
I thought the grant was a maximum, I looked at two options of grants, one was, I think it was called a TIP grant or something from CROP, our Council of Government. And I could get in the running with them, I've talked to them already, and the other grant is the safe school walking grant, get to school safely, so this would. And there was another one you gave me, but I think that's the school safety grant, I think that's another
The
name.
Department of Transportation, pedestrian and safety.
Yes, pedestrian safety, and it's also tied in with getting to school safe. Yeah, so that, I would look at both those avenues and see which one. I think one of them pays up to 600,000, but I'll look at my notes. So it looks like we should probably set up a subcommittee, get this going, but we'll be talking about it for the next 6 months.
Someone offered to me to help with the survey questions because she is,
Yes, I have her name.
she does that. She was a professor and she does social surveys and stuff. And she,
And we got an email from her, Sherry.
okay.
So I'll, do we have your email?
I think so. I emailed them.
If you beat them out, we have. So I'll set up a meeting with, it was a woman, right?
Suhad.
Suhad? Yes. So you and Suhad. I'll try to get our planner involved, because John lined up Barton Luigi and we walked it, so John's very informed. And then we'll strategize on what questions to ask.
The only question, this like proposal, this and the map, is it really a Volantown, right?
Different.
Yeah, they were just showing us another project. in
Right,
town.
but you mentioned 900,000, it was,
Was that the Voluntown?
well, it's 950,000.
Yeah, and I think they guessed ours to be 800,000. Based on linear feet,
Okay.
and we didn't measure it yet, but
Yep, no, I just want to make sure that we weren't using this as, you know, this is the proposal. Where the other two sheets are actually of the right of ways in Columbia.
right.
Paperwork is, you know, a mix.
Yeah, some of it is another project.
Okay, thank you.
I think what they're showing is what they would do for $3,000.
Yep.
Yeah, this is not us. Thank you, Jerry.
How do we find out about the snow removal and what?
I think we need to talk to DOT. I think I've got a. And that might be a great question to ask of, Rich Regan.
Mhm.
I also wondered what Hebron is doing because they have that long sidewalk going by houses, right? Down towards the school there, who do they?
I'll ask, Andy Tierney, their town manager. Who shovels those. Normally in a commercial district. Either the businesses set up a fund. To maintain and sweep, but most likely a town like Hebron, the public works is doing it.
I wonder if this, being a state road. Like even when I plow the parking lots, I'm not supposed to cross the street with the plow down and leave snow on crossing 87. state road. If it did come down to somebody doing it and it was the town saying, you got a couple extra people, no problem, you can do it. Does the state really like that? Do they allow you to do that? To plow and shovel their sidewalks, so to speak?
Well,
or-
I think it's our sidewalk. I think
Oh.
we're responsible for maintenance and,
Okay, so they will,
It's on the state right away.
yeah, it's our state right away. They bless it, but it's ours.
got it, so it's
We made
really
it.
different than the road. Understood, okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
And I know. I think some pushback will be, we don't have any sidewalks, that's why we moved here. If we want sidewalks, we stay in West Rutland. So that, I've heard that comment.
That will hopefully come out in
In the survey.
the survey.
Yeah.
And the board of selectmen is gonna move that forward, or they.
They've already authorized me
Okay.
to proceed with the survey project. So that's,
And that's where you're,
and Sherry brought the proposal to the board of selectmen with a group of residents
yep,
and has volunteered to help in that.
so we should be seeing something within,
See what,
Oh,
to the
a
rest.
survey, I think we could get a survey written in a month.
By, September 1st, whatever, let's say, type thing,
Yeah,
by Labor Day, whatever.
that'd
yeah,
be good,
that'd be great.
that'd be a good goal. All right, so survey goal, Labor
The
Day.
one thing I think we need to know is about, more information about the snow removal,
Yeah.
because that will impact people's
Yes.
answers,
Yeah.
right?
And I'll get the number to Mark and Jen as quick as I can, and they'll contact. He's, higher up in the DOTs, I don't know what level he's at.
We hire more people for sidewalk snow removal, they can do it here. Let's continue on down, that would be great, I'm very for it now.
You just wanna get out of sidewalks, I know.
No injuries or anything in town employees to report or anything like that.
Have you heard that?
No, no. I don't think so.
Okay.
I've been good. Carpentry all day, had safety glasses on. That's good.
Oh, it's good.
No, I think everybody's been in good shape.
That would be the main source of reports, right?
She would know,
Yeah, and that's not told me of any.
Okay.
at least amongst the guys, everyone's still got all their digits.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
kind of what
The
we're,
one employee that was out for medical, who was not work related.
Hmm.
They're back.
good.
All right, adjournment,
Aye.
motion to adjourn, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye at 2:26. 2:26. Adjourn.
Well, thanks for
And Sherry?
taking that, bringing it forward, see what,
Yeah, well,
see what